Peace and love, family. Welcome to the Credit Shaman page where we talking about quantum health, business and spirituality, plant medicine, and sovereignty. Today is July 6th, and I wanted to share with you a bioenergetic biofeedback tool that I utilize to optimize my everyday lifestyle, my habits, and also, I guess you could say, keep track of how my heart is doing. A lot of us, we go a lot of time throughout of our lives guessing what our body is doing. And the beautiful thing about the integration of technology and science and biology is that, we can have biofeedback tools and devices to track biometric data, you know, on our hands, on our fingers, very easily, so that way we can optimize our habits and that we can pivot and adjust based off of how our body is doing and recovering in real time. So what I'm going to go on here and do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to bring up my phone, and I'm actually going to do a quick screen share. All right, let's see. Beautiful, perfect. So as I bring up the Whoop app, again, I'm going to continue to reiterate. It is a biofeedback device that you literally wear just right on your wrist. I think it's really cool, and it's actually very fashionable. You know what I mean? I'm really big about functionality over fashion, because remember, if you're not tracking, you are guessing. So what the Whoop actually does is, on a day-to-day basis, it will track your heart rate. It will track your calories. It will track the four things that you see in the middle right there is your recovery, your daily strain, your HRV, and how many calories you burn throughout a day. So on a typical day, I literally burn 2,000 calories. As you can see, just today, I burned 1,700 calories. And today was a pretty sedentary day where I really wasn't doing much movement. It was almost 100 degrees here in New Jersey. However, my body still does a good job burning calories, right? But with burning calories, you need to match that with the amount of calories that you consume, right? Quality calories, not just blank calories like carbohydrates, snacks, and for example, the cheesecake that we ate for lunch, even though that was 1,200 calories, it doesn't necessarily justify the 1,700 calories that my body is burning. So what you need to know about calories is that calories is the way to measure energy in the body, right? So when you're thinking about fat and protein, a fat is measured at 9 calories per gram, opposed to a carbohydrate, which is 4 calories per gram. So if your goal, for example, let me show you the other day. Yesterday, my recovery was crappy. As you can see, I didn't get much sleep. But let me show you July, what was that? July 5th? Oh, July 4th, actually. This was the 4th of July. The night before, I actually had an exceptional recovery, 96%, right? But as you can see here, I burned over what? 5,100 calories. Now, of course, there was a lot of movement, alcohol, cannabis, tobacco, a lot of that lifestyle stuff, right? That plays a huge factor in it. So you can see my daily strain almost at the peak. So by recognizing that, you understand now, okay, wow, I get to see how well my body recovered from the night before. And now today kind of determines the amount of strain that I should put on my body. So for example, if I had a 50% recovery when I woke up that morning, I probably would have drank a little less. I probably would have smoked a little less, right? I probably would have hydrated a little more. And most importantly, I probably would have ate nourishing foods that help me recover. So that way, that 50% recovery, I go to sleep that night. Hopefully I wake up with a better recovery the next day. right? So this is a good tool. And I think anyone who is looking to optimize their performance, not only within their business, and I think as above, so below. So their business is a reflection of who they are and how they're doing internally. So if you have this data, you can track. So let's go into this. Let's first start with my sleep. You can obviously see that it tracks. It even tells you little suggestions. 16% of your time asleep was spent in REM sleep. And as we know, REM sleep is actually where the healing happens, right? Not only that, the deep sleep is kind of where the lucid dreams come in and astral projection comes in. But you can see here that I spent 9 hours in bed. I had 26 different disturbances, which basically means that it was me moving around throughout the night, maybe because adjusting to temperatures. Maybe it was hitting my partner upside the head with my elbows, because that often happens. My efficiency of sleep was 87%. And then my respiratory rate was 17.2. So pretty cool, right? But let's go back to this analysis here where it tells you the stages of sleep. So it tracks how much time that I'm awake, what time that I've been in light sleep, what time I've spent in REM, and what time I've spent in deep. So I can tell you that a healthy amount of time, obviously, since there's four, I guess you could say, really 3 categories, the light, REM, and deep, that you want to be in, is that you want to get at least 2.5, 3 hours of each. Now, generally, this doesn't happen for me. I usually spend a lot of my time in light and roughly around 2, maybe 2.5 hours in REM, and max 2 hours in deep sleep. So I need to work on getting better with my sleep. And I guess you could say getting into a deeper sleep, decreasing the amount of disturbances, so that way I can fall into a much more relaxed sleep. As you can see here, the Whoop tracks the activities. I'm going to skip all this for now. But let's just say in this activity, I was playing on baseball, right? My level of exertion, as you can see, during that amount of time, it tracked my heart rate. My max heart rate was 166 for almost 1 hour. The amount of calories that I burned was 458. So this is really cool. Like, I love the Whoop, you know what I mean? So as you can see, this is the amount of strain that all of those different activities equate to. You can see my max heart rate, how many calories I burned. And this is why it's so important, is because on an average holiday, when people are drinking, they're smoking, they're out with family, you have kids around, you're running around, you're doing all this stuff. And then, it makes the difference between someone like me waking up the next day and drinking the right things, or doubling up on my remedies, or eating, a beef or heavy steak or even organs, and then having a phenomenal day, instead of someone on the reverse side of that who is waking up the next morning dehydrated, chronically fatigued, their liver is stressed, their conductivity is super high, and it becomes, I guess you could say, a downstream thing from there, because so many things start to get affected by that, right? They're in fight or flight, they don't have enough minerals, their adrenals are stressed. Obviously, they're not going to get the best quality sleep that night either. So these are some ways that you want to be able to analyze how your body and what kind of signals is your body giving you based off of a biofeedback device, so that way you can continue to optimize your daily reality. So peace and love, tribe. Hope y'all enjoyed this, and I will continue to do more biofeedback and bioenergetic analysis as the days continue. If you want the Whoop, the link is in the bio. And if you want to schedule an organ test with me, which is a biofeedback technology that we use to test for over 80,000 different kinds of sensitivities, click that link in the bio, or click that link underneath the description, and I will see you then. Peace and love, tribe.